Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Mariam has a story?
Yes, I do. So operatives of NDLEA have arrested a Canada-based Nigerian nurse. Her name is Usman Grace Khadijat Olami, and then 2 other businessmen as well have been arrested by NDLEA, Ihejirika Emmanuel and Iwagu Victory, all for drug trafficking. So Ihejirika, they say he frequently travels to Thailand, and he claims that what he does is that he imports fish into Nigeria. October 15th, he was arrested, and he was his body was scanned. They found that he had ingested illicit drugs, and then they put him on excretion, whatever, you know, and he excreted, they said, 5 big-size wraps of cocaine weighing 400 grams. 5 big egg-sized. You can imagine egg-sized.
He had to swallow.
Yes, and he excreted that. Then I'm telling you just how disgusting it is. Then the other person, the Victory, he is 26 years old. He had ingested illicit drugs as well, and he's owned 30 wraps. But he had even he stopped at Addis Ababa first, excreted 29 for one person, and had just dropped it off. And he then came to Nigeria where he excreted 1.
You're kidding me.
Yes, I see. He stopped over to do excretion and hand over to somebody to come and finish her. Like, this is annoying, you know. And then the Nigerian-Canadian nurse, Olami, she was arrested at the Lagos airport. And her own was that they had searched her luggage and they found 70 parcels of Canadian loud weighing 35.70 kg. Like, the war against drugs, as we know, is ongoing. So we thank God for NDLEA as they keep, you know, doing the work. But these drug barons and drug peddlers, they just don't seem to
stop.
So I have the Onion Dam story. According to this report, Punch says that the communities around the Isheri, Arepo, Lafenwa and Warewa areas are being flooded now along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway because of the release of water from the Onion Dam, and gradually people are beginning to leave their houses. According to an eyewitness, a resident, Ayode Jalao, he says that you can see everywhere is completely empty. Children, adults, everybody has left. You cannot see cars because you can't even drive in. People are leaving their houses, and the water level keeps going up. You can't drive no matter the level of your car. You cannot. Lagos State also used the opportunity to talk about the rising water levels within the state. They also attributed it to the Onion Dam release of water. Speaking is the Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab. He mentioned that, you know, the intensity of the rainfall between Wednesday and Thursday has led to the levels of major rivers rising, and they're making it difficult for the major drainage channels to discharge until it goes down. So it's a gradual thing, and just giving us a heads up about how to prepare.
Okay.
All right, so I have the story of the father. He's been called the father of the nation. That's retired general. Yes, it was retired General Gowon. And the president had this dinner for him to celebrate him at 90. That, for me, is a major, is an age that everybody that gets to that age should be celebrated. He said that the head of state, it was head of state between 1966 and 1975. It was during that period that there was the civil war, and the president noted the fact that his statement of no victory, no victor, no vanquish, made it sure that he's not going to laud like, oh, they are the winners, this person did not win, but rather his focus was on, he introduced the 3R, reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reconciliation after the civil war. And that was also when he introduced the NYSC, so that people would get to know one another, integrate more, which obviously has happened over the years. And so the president also said many other things to appreciate him, amongst other people that were there celebrating his style of leadership. And even after he stepped down from being the head of state, he has also been actively involved in ECOWAS, in African leadership, to push for peace and unity within the continent. So all of those good things about him. We're happy that he's alive to be celebrated right now. He's one of those that is always in the news for positivity. Yeah, so we're celebrating him as well.
Now to Daily Sun, bloodbath in Anambra, Edo Rivers and Katsina. Nigeria misses 40 billion naira, 4 million barrels per day oil reserves, production target. Businessmen abandon vehicle importation over high clearance cost and dollar scarcity. Tinubu gets new chief of CSO as DSS rejigs security team. Enugu government police insist on no sit-at-home, assure citizens of security. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay, so I have the importer's story. According to the President Association of Motor Dealers of Nigeria, AMDON, Prince Ajibola Adedoyin, he says that that due to the hike in tariffs, hike in forex, increase in import duties and other taxes, automobile dealers are no longer able to bring in cars into the country. And he says this is of economic implication because, of course, businesses are collapsing. He said a lot of importers have dropped out of that business, and some that are even operating in the business are now just recycling Nigeria used cars and packaging them. This, of course, because of the packaging puts us at risk of safety. And he says that the economy is all about movement of goods and services, and anything that affects transportation affects businesses. He's also complaining about the rise in fuel costs, as affecting the business.
Okay, another story in Daily Sun. The major headline, unfortunately, there was a bloodbath in Anambra as suspected gunmen killed 15 persons at the Awka South local government area of Anambra State. Daily Sun gathered that the incident occurred yesterday afternoon at Ngwochichi Market, very close to the governor's lodge. According to a source, there was pandemonium yesterday morning when church members were either in prayer session in churches or returning from their service. The shooting caused serious panic and people scampered for safety. When the smoke from the gunshot settled, blood was flowing like the rivers, and 15 young men in their prime lost their lives. This is a serious, serious crime, and I hope that our security officers are able to give the people justice for this. Really horrible.
So there's an inauguration of the African leaders. They've launched this African School of Governance initiative. This launch is supposed to help to raise new set of leaders for Africa that will be focusing on governance and bringing deliverables of progress to the people. The statement was made to newsmen. It was signed by John Paul Sesogna, and this school is the school is going to be inaugurated, and that the Professor Moghalu would be the first. What's the word? Yes, is the first president of the school. The school is going to be in Rwanda, and the president of Rwanda was also, both co-founders have already spoken about it. It's being supported by the MasterCard Foundation, and it's part of the Young Africa Work Strategy. And their goal is to reach out to 30 million young Africans, 70% of whom are women, to access dignified and fulfilling work opportunities between now and 2030. So we're looking forward to how this entire new African leaders governance initiative would run. And we definitely know that we need more African leaders who are selfless and whose governance is focused more on the people than on personal interest.
Okay. Vanguard. Federal government zero-duty food import policy faces fresh hurdles. Moghalu appointed as president of the African School of Governance. Scores killed in Anambra, Rivers, and cult clashes. DSS replaces Tinubu's CSO Fasasi with Rashid Lawal. Let's find a story we've not taken. National Assembly proposes reintroduction of 5% excise duty on telecoms betting services, and Serap to Tinubu. Stop weaponizing security agencies against Nigerians. Okay, I
have a story.
Go ahead.
So the story that Tokwe took earlier, Gawan's 90th birthday, we also have the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, had also, shared his birthday greetings with him. And many Nigerians, especially those of the Igbo extraction, were not happy about it. They felt that because of the history and the part that Gowon played in civil war, they did not expect someone of Mr. Obi's leanings to have congratulated him that way he did. So in response to them, he says, whatever reason I'll give for joining the rest of Nigerians to greet General Gowon may never truly conform with some persons, especially direct victims of war. But anger, hurt, and bitterness are the commonest response to cruelty. Majorly, by the time when he was done anyway, he was talking more about forgiveness. He says that, for us to move forward, forgiveness has to be something that we embrace. You know, that yes, this happened, and he does not deny that. He said, less than 10 years old when this even happened. But, you know, to move forward, forgiveness has to be something that we embrace as a nation.
You know, all these generals, they've lived so long. Even Babangida is alive.
They have long life.
Yeah.
They have long life. T.Y. Benjamin, they're all...
They're all alive.
But I
There
think
must be some...
study the trend, the training, probably the rigorous training they go through when
I'm
they
just
are
talking, you go
young.
with the curses that these people... That
okay.
the way people they cursed them, the way they did love, you know, and they are still going strong. So you just have to start thinking of...
They have National Assembly trying to introduce the 5% excise duty on telecoms, betting, and gaming and gambling and all of that. According to this report, National Assembly has proposed a 5% excise duty on telecommunication services, gaming, betting, and lottery activities in the country. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in July 6, 2023 had signed, as part of the bills that he signed into law, some executive orders. One of them was the 5%, so the suspension of the 5% excise duty on taxes proposed by the the immediate past administration on telecommunication services to mitigate the adverse effect of tax increase on businesses and households. But they have now brought a new bill entitled, an executive bill titled Nigeria Tax Bill 2024, and they seek to introduce this bill. They, of course, are looking at raising money. It says the bill also states that services include telecommunications, gaming, gambling, betting, lottery, and any other description it might have in Nigeria, and this shall be subject to excise duty at rates specified under the 10th schedule to the Act and in manner described by the service. Also, the bill includes provision of currency, provision related to currency exchange transactions, including involving the naira. I'm 100% for this because I don't believe in that exemption.
Okay, you're still in Vanguard. I have the Mr. and Mrs. Comedy, the cartoon part.
Okay.
Interesting.
What do you have?
So the man is telling the woman, he says, I transferred 130,000 naira to your account. But right there in my presence at the mall, you only spent 100,000 naira. Give me the remaining 30,000 naira balance. The wife replied, that little amount is called palliative. Whenever you are broke, it becomes subsidy. If you take it from me now, it becomes subsidy remover. Nigerian Tribune. Let's see how much minutes. I mean, we don't have enough time. Final paper, Nigerian Tribune, 16 months of decline, critical markets indicators defy FG, World Bank's reform, optimism, and there's no story we can take anyway. So that's the major head, and that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we want our sponsored segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.